Are you wondering why real estate agents are leaving eXp Realty even despite its growing popularity? Well, if you're ever thinking about joining eXp and you're concerned about the amount of agents or agents out there sharing stories of why they left eXp, this video is for you because we're going to be covering the 8 top reasons why agents are actually leaving eXp. My name is Xin and I'm the co-founder of Agent Wealth Hustle. And I'm joined here by my partner today, Charlie Cameron, who is the founder of Agent Wealth Hustle and a team leader here at eXp. And we've both been at eXp since 2019 as agents, and eXp has been our first and only brokerage. And in today's video, we're going to be sharing with you guys the 8 most common reasons that we've seen from our experience of why real estate agents are actually leaving the brokerage. And make sure to watch through this entire video because I think reason number 4 might actually shock you a little bit.
Before we get started, we encourage you to comment below. Have you left a brokerage? If so, which one and why? We're curious whether your responses are going to match ours and our experience over the last 5-ish years of seeing agents come and go and really what their big reasons are. So drop that down below. And first thing first, before we go into these 8 reasons, what does leaving a brokerage truly mean? I wanted to just point out that according to Mike Delpreet, who's a big brokerage analysis and data guy, really great information if you go look him up, but he talks about brokerage churn. In a recent article he just published talks about how about 10% of agents churn or leave a brokerage every single year. So the fact that agents have left eXp or left any brokerage does not really reflect poorly on a brokerage itself necessarily. It does mean that just 10% of agents will naturally change brokerages each year. So every brokerage will have agent leaving stories and reasons, and that's where we pulled these reasons from. So with that, Kobe, why don't you take it away with the first reason that agents leave brokerages?
Yeah, so the first and probably the most common reason why agents leave eXp, and not just eXp, but any other brokerages out there, is what we call the money myth. And that's pretty much basically just means that agents feel like they're not making as much money as they should be. So they feel like that the brokerage that they're at is actually the problem. So when agents join the industry, one of the biggest misconceptions for new real estate agents is that real estate is just like any other job, but with the added benefit of time, flexibility, and freedom. And as we all hope to have something like that actually exists in this world, unfortunately, I don't think that actually exists. Because real estate in reality is actually a business that you have to run and maintain and grow. And with that basically means that you as a real estate agent need to take responsibility for the amount of revenue you're making and the amount of money you're bringing in as well. So for a lot of agents, the number one reasons why they leave of any brokerage and eXp is because they feel like they're not making as much money as they need to be. And they're actually going out there and thinking that the brokerage itself is the problem because they feel they're not getting as much support and not as much guidance as they can be in order to make the amount of money that they want to. So a tip for agents out there who are thinking about leaving their brokerage but not necessarily making the amount of money that they want to is to treat real estate like a business and actually have a solid foundation business blueprint and business plan, so that way you can go out there and be successful on your own and actually be successful in making the money that you want in the real estate industry.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 key things to point out about that. If you're at a brokerage and you're producing money there, it might be good to take a look and evaluate, hey, how much money am I keeping, right, out of that money you're producing? But if you're not producing money, then the thing to look at is, am I getting the right support tools, training to be able to go out there and generate leads? In many cases, many brokerages will have that piece to it, but in a few cases, maybe that's missing. So the second biggest reason why agents leave eXp Realty is that they set the wrong expectations about what eXp or really any brokerage might provide. They may come to eXp and join with an unrealistic expectation that someone is going to tell them exactly which types of lead generation to implement in their business, for example. That's probably the biggest one. And while every single type of lead generation works, it's really up to that person to decide which programs they want to get training on, which ones they want to implement, which types of lead generation are going to work for them that they're going to be passionate about implementing in their business, and then taking that training that they have to go take and implement it to produce clients in their market. eXp is what I like to call a what you make of it brokerage. No one is going to tell you that, Kobe, you must be at this training at 2 p.m. on Thursday, and that is the lead generation you must do. It's really, again, what you make of it. Are you going to show up to the trainings to get a good smattering of which lead generations strategies are going to work best for you? Are you going to test and implement those? Are you going to be consistent at trying that out for 3 to 6 months, which is really what you're going to need to start producing leads? So really setting the wrong expectation of, hey, I got my license, I joined a brokerage, give me my leads. That's just not how it works at eXp or any brokerage. You are still responsible for building your business here, though you have the tools, the resources, the sponsors, the training and support to do that.
Right, absolutely. I think these misaligned expectations are one of the biggest reasons why agents are leaving, not just the brokerage, but also, like you mentioned earlier in this video, the industry as a whole as well, which brings us to reason number 3 why agents are leaving eXp. That's basically what we call within the industry or any other industry, the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. So a lot of times when things aren't going our way, especially in the real estate industry or in a business, or if you're starting out in a new industry like real estate and a lot of new agents coming in, when things aren't necessarily going our way, we tend to start looking outside of ourselves for other opportunities. And we feel like that a lot of times it is the brokerage that we're with that is the problem. So even if an agent's doing quite well at eXp or really any other brokerage out there, when the new brokerage or a new model comes into their market, they're always looking at these other brokerages or other models as new opportunities that from the outside looking in, seems like the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, if you will. So a lot of times they tend to jump ship. They tend to go to a different brokerage to take advantage of maybe what's called a ground floor opportunity or a new opportunity that just hasn't been seen in the industry before. But later on, they actually realize that it's not necessarily what they have previously thought. And they actually had it pretty good here at eXp or the previous brokerage that they were with, the opportunities that they were provided. And from what we've seen a lot of times is agents who have left eXp for these newer opportunities in the grass is greener on the other side syndrome actually end up coming back 6 months, 12 months, 24 months later once they realize that these new brokerages they're going to doesn't necessarily provide what they actually promised, and they actually come back to eXp to take better advantage of the tools and resources and opportunities that they already had when they were an agent here.
Yeah, it's important to note that eXp is the earliest cloud-based model, cloud-based brokerage. And so we've got some of the best tools and systems and opportunities and training available at this point industry-wide. So trying to go find some place that's greener in terms of support you can get usually ends in failure. We've seen dozens, if not 100, maybe 200 agents inside and outside our sponsorship organization at eXp leave eXp. Of those, I can think of 2 agents that are successfully out there selling houses. So a lot of times people leave thinking they're going to get some sort of additional groundbreaking thing that's all of a sudden going to make them successful, when really the most important thing to do is to look internally at, hey, what am I doing? Am I implementing the practices I need to implement at my brokerage, regardless of what brokerage it is, to be successful? And that brings me to reason number 4. Agents leave eXp, which is overwhelmed with eXp's systems. If you're not used to a cloud-based brokerage, especially the earliest one that now has the most tools and training and available opportunities for growth and lead generation, then you might get overwhelmed because we've got kvCore, we've got SkySlope, we've got eXp World, we've got Workplace. Where do you go for XYZ? And truly that is overwhelming if you're new to a cloud-based brokerage or a brokerage in general, just how many tools there are and how to best utilize all of them, which is why having a good sponsor with a good onboarding system and training is super helpful. But just know that every brokerage has tools and systems and that each one might be slightly different. So, learning something here versus going and learning it somewhere else, you're still going to have that hurdle to get over to get those tools learned and behind you that you can focus on building your business.
Right. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I think reason number 4 that you just talked about, Charlie, might shock a lot of agents because, you don't necessarily think about having too many tools and resources as a reason why people will actually leave a brokerage. But it's true. A lot of agents come over and they're just simply overwhelmed by the abundance or really overabundance of tools and resources that you have access to as an eXp agent. And that brings us to reason number 5. Why agents are leaving eXp, and that is what we think of as the team dilemma. So a lot of agents come into the industry, and this isn't necessarily specific just to the eXp brokerage model, it's across the industry as well. So a lot of new agents come in thinking that they want to be a solo agent, and they're not necessarily thinking about what that might take, right? So we talked a little bit about misaligned expectations and also the money myth as well, as far as people not making as much money in real estate in the beginning. Well, a lot of agents come into the industry needing to make an income quickly because they've either quit their job or they've gone into this full time, and they're having a hard time actually building up their business as an independent or solo agent. So what happens is a lot of times these agents end up wanting to join a team, and they're not necessarily picking the right teams to join, and they're having a hard time as far as figuring out if the brokerage that they're with is going to provide them with the correct team. So a lot of times agents leave eXp because they end up joining more of a brick and mortar office, or they end up joining a different team with a different brokerage. So a lot of times when a solo agent comes in and not necessarily seeing the success that they want to, they tend to leave to join another team that's out there that might be providing them leads or support or promising them these things. But again, like we talked a little bit earlier in reason number 3, which is the grass is greener on the other side, a lot of times these agents are seeing that the reality is the leads that they're getting from these other teams that are outside of the brokerage aren't necessarily what they're looking for, and they're also having to split an additional 30 to maybe 50% even of their commissions just to be a part of these teams on top of the brokerage split. So again, we talked a little bit about this earlier about picking the right sponsor at eXp. We're going to be talking a lot more about this in our last reason, which is reason number 8. But again, make sure that if you are joining eXp, you join with the right person, so that way they can actually help you be successful without having to take any additional splits from your commission.
Yeah, so reason number 6 why agents leave eXp Realty is the difficulty adjusting to a cloud-based brokerage. We've talked a little bit about this, but just to take it a little bit further, not all agents are well suited, at least initially, for a fully online virtual brokerage environment. And while at eXp you will be assigned to local mentors if you're a new agent, some agents still face a challenge with self-discipline and motivation of not having a physical office to go to, which I think that was a much bigger thing in the past few years than it is now, because a lot of top producing agents, regardless of brokerage now, have virtual tools, and those agents aren't really wasting time going to an office or being in an office anymore. The biggest shock about leaving eXp Realty for a brick and mortar brokerage is that most brick and mortar agents now have the cloud-based tools and aren't taking the time to commute. They aren't showing up to the office. They're going out there and producing more and selling more houses because they can do that instead of spending time in the office. So I think it's shocking to a lot of agents who leave eXp for a franchise model, show up to the office for that in-person support, and there isn't any. Versus at eXp, where you can get virtual support at any time, as well as have access to a local mentor.
Right, absolutely. And a lot of times, in the real estate industry, which we've alluded to many, many times in this video, is that this is something where your success is determined upon you and the effort that you put into your business, and how much time are you willing to devote into actually utilizing the tools and resources that you are given, regardless of the brokerage that you're actually at. Which brings us perfectly to reason number 7, which is basically just agents are choosing not to plug into all the tools, resources, coaching, and training that is provided to them at eXp as an agent. So eXp, like you mentioned earlier, Charlie, is a cloud-based brokerage where agents are going to get out of it what they put into it. So pretty much a lot of times the reasons why agents end up actually leaving is that they always talk about how there's no tools or no support in order to help them build their business. But once we actually start auditing some of the reasons why they left the business or why they left the brokerage, is because they ended up actually choosing not to plug into all of the tools and resources and coaching eXp provides to all the agents. So a lot of times when agents come in, they're thinking that they need to be told exactly what to do, when in reality, it's up to them to actually get plugged in into the trainings and the tools and the resources, right? So even if you're an agent who knows exactly what you're doing, who is a self-starter, who can get out there and get things done, it's still very important that you actually plug into the trainings and tools and networks that eXp provides, because it creates community, it creates a good culture. It also provides you with the opportunity to collaborate with all 90,000 agents at eXp around the world, which will open you up to more opportunities and also open you up to more and different ways of thinking and different ways that agents are doing things in their business that you never know might actually help you in your business as well. So if you are coming over to join eXp, again, make sure to always plug in into our systems, into our communities, into our groups, because these things are really some of the most invaluable things that you're going to have access to here, even though they're more or less intangible, much like some of the tools that are more tangible, like softwares that you're going to actually have access to, like KV Core and SkySlope here at eXp.
Yeah, and that brings us to the very last reason, last but not least, why agents leave eXp Realty. And I think that this would pretty much solve all the other 7 reasons, which is some agents join eXp and choose the wrong sponsor. And what do I mean by that? So eXp agents, every agent at eXp has a sponsor, and that person's role is to provide you with additional support above and beyond that eXp already provides. And some agents will sell sponsorship but never show up, right? So they'll get you in the door, but then they're really not there providing the support that most agents need, either new to real estate, new to lead generation, new to a brokerage in general, or new to eXp Realty. Some sponsors don't provide any onboarding training. They're not providing continuing weekly guidance and avenues for support. They're not teaching you how to endlessly attract clients and create content. But on the flip side, there are some incredibly amazing sponsors at eXp who over time have built more and more tools, training, resources, mentorship to help you succeed at the company and outside of the company. Teach you other ways to generate income, for example. Maybe they help teach you how to invest in real estate. Maybe they teach you how to build your own team. Maybe they teach you how to attract clients instead of having to cold call or do other really terrible, not fun lead generation techniques. So there are great sponsors out there, and all of this comes to agents at eXp for free. So joining that right sponsor is really going to set you up for success. And that sponsor is going to eliminate the rest of the reasons to leave eXp, because they're going to give you the tools you need to succeed, not only as a top producing agent, but as an agent who builds multiple streams of income and financial freedom.
Absolutely, Charlie. I think you couldn't have said that better. So, if you had like a magic pill to actually cure all of the 7 reasons why agents are leaving eXp, I think reason number 8, right? Picking the right sponsor will cure all those 7 other reasons why agents are leaving eXp and not seeing the success that they want to. So guys, if you guys are watching this video, it means that you're interested and curious about the eXp model, because you're looking up information as far as why people are joining, but also why people are leaving, right? We want to make sure we paint a very accurate an objective picture for what it looks like to be an agent at eXp. And we want you to not only join eXp, but also be successful so that you are compelled to stay and not leave. And the number one reason why agents are leaving, like you said, Charlie, is because they're not picking the right sponsor. So make sure to check out our best eXp sponsor video, which we're going to leave in the link in the description down below, to learn more about what an eXp sponsor is, but also who is the best eXp sponsor. Or make sure to book a one-on-one Zoom call with us so that you can learn more about how we provide additional tools, resources, and support to the agents that join with us as their sponsoring organization, and how we are helping agents succeed and build multiple streams of income at eXp and actually be able to take advantage of what we believe to be the number 1 real estate brokerage model and the number 1 vehicle in the industry to help you build your wealth and create the lifestyle that you want and you also deserve. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and staying all the way to the end. Make sure to book a call or check out our best sponsor video, and we'll see you on our next video. Take care.